Welcome back, everyone, to the Canadian Baseball Network podcast. We have a very special episode today, Jackson. I had the opportunity recently to travel out west to Saskatoon to take in the Saskatoon Berries home opener.
You know, it's interesting. I see so many of these hats out and around, so much of this merch, the Saskatoon Berries. And I'm a huge baseball fan, and I didn't know a whole lot about them. And that last year was their inaugural season. And so what a great idea for you, Matt, to head out there. And I guess a question maybe just for our audience, just so everyone's on the same page. Can you just explain a little bit about this is a collegiate summer baseball team and what that kind of is?
Yeah, for sure. It's the best way to describe it is college players. They're all, a lot of them at least, are looking for somewhere to play in the summer. You know, the most well-known ones would be the Cape Cod League, the Northwoods League, where the Thunder Bay Border Cats play. The Western Canadian Baseball League is the same thing. Most notably, people might know the Okotoks Dogs. The Saskatoon Berries are a relatively new organization. Last year was their inaugural season. Saskatoon did have a team it folded in 2014, the Saskatoon Yellow Jackets, which was kind of interesting because I talked to some of the players from around the area that remember going to those games, and now they're playing on the same field. So that was pretty cool.
I would think, too, that for a lot of these guys getting to come home for the summer, and you mentioned it, a lot of the players you talk to who will air their clips in a few minutes here, they get to come home for the summer and to play ball. That must be really enriching, I'd imagine, for them and the community.
Yeah, and that's what's kind of special about the Western Canadian Baseball League is there are a lot of Canadians in it, but it's not just Canadians. I mean, there's players from all over the United States, all different levels of school, Division 1, 2, 3, NAIA, junior college. So it really is a great collection of talent, really from across North America. But yeah, as the Canadian Baseball Network and Canadian baseball fans, there are a lot of homegrown players.
So you get a chance to talk with a bunch of people in the organization. And one thing that I really gathered is just how wonderful the organization treats everyone there. That was like a common thing that I kept hearing, which is obviously great to hear. And it seems, they've got a really cool thing going with their fans out there in Saskatoon too. So maybe we'll get started here, Matt, if you want. You mentioned you got a chance to speak with the coach.
Yeah, for sure. And the one thing I'll say about the organization is that they're doing things right. The whole league's doing things right. But yeah, I got the chance to speak with Joe Carnahan, who is also involved with the Saskatoon Berries Academy. So the younger kids making their way up, hopefully, to get to the college ranks and professional ranks. So let's hear from Joe. Your background in baseball, let's just kind of start there.
I played at Iowa Western, then Vanguard University,
okay.
And then I started coaching at a small school in my hometown in Wisconsin,
yep.
Division 3, and then got my master's GA at North Dakota.
Cool.
And then was down in Brownsville for a year, and then what happened was it was like right on the border, and that was when the border was like not good.
Yeah.
And got pregnant, and it was like, so then that's how we ended up moving up here.
Okay, so you're from Wisconsin initially?
Yeah.
So is your wife from here?
Yeah, she's from Swift Current, so that's why I was in Swift Current for so long.
So tell me a little bit about moving to Saskatoon and what that was like.
Well, it was awesome. Like, just all of a sudden got a call out of nowhere from Mark Campbell, and I was like, yeah, we'll listen. And I did a little research, and I'm going to listen for sure. And then talked to Hilty on the phone, and met with him, and it was a no-brainer. Just talking to him.
Talk to me a little bit about this team, the WCBL, and kind of the first season seemed like it was a huge success. So just talk a little bit about what that was like going through that with a team that's brand new.
It was, right away you kind of have a little idea what's going to happen, but there's a lot of unknowns in that, and then just the job that the organization's done, like creating the atmosphere for the fans and how they treat the players and just the environment that the players are in I've exceeded any expectations I had.
Summer collegiate baseball is really unique in that it changes every year. Recruiting's probably difficult to a certain degree. Talk to me a little bit about how you go about recruiting for a team like this.
Just a lot of contacts throughout the years, a lot of contacts, and then this year we were fortunate. We had obviously played last year. We had some guys that had some other guys interested in coming up, and just kind of snowballed off that.
Yep.
And they do such a good job on social media and everything. So it's easy for players to see what kind of happens here.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about what your expectations are for this year. Obviously, you made the division final last year, so big expectations, a lot of pressure in only your second year.
Yeah, just like every year you want to win a championship, just like every single team. And but the big thing is we're just going to take it day by day, help these guys get better, and get ready for their season next year, and the seniors try to hopefully help move on to pro ball.
Absolutely. Tell me a little bit how the community has embraced you, because I feel like this place is going to be packed again today. Hilty was telling me about the merchandise selling out. So tell me a little bit about what that's like, and is that unique? Is that different than what you've experienced in the past?
Oh yeah, this whole thing's way different. Just attendance, like the fans that show support here, but like you said, just around the community and you go to airports and stuff, and it's not very uncommon to see somebody in the airport, say in Toronto or whatever, wearing a Berries hat and all that. So it's pretty cool, just kind of how the merchandise and everything's gone, across the border and in the U.S. and all that, and you just see Berries stuff everywhere. I
know. I feel like they hit a home run with with kind of the marketing and the merchandise. But tell me a little bit about yourself, for people that don't know a little bit about you. Maybe personally or in baseball, something that people might not know about you.
I just love the game. Yeah. I love the game. I like the interaction with the players and all that, seeing them, improve and progress throughout the year and then throughout their careers and that, and just kind of being just a little piece and helping them get to where they want to get to, and that's the biggest thing for me.
How critical is it, the academy, to kind of feed into and grow the game locally here?
It's great, because we do stuff in the evening with the littler guys, and then we have the 15U and 18U program that we do during the daytime, and we're real fortunate this year. We had a really good group of kids in both 15U and 18U, and they bought into everything that we do, and just we just had good people, and we had some kids that are going to get some opportunities in college next year, and that's important to us.
Where do you kind of see that academy going, and how does that kind of work in unison with the WCBL team?
Well, I mean, like if you look at our affiliate roster and all that, we have a lot of academy guys on it, and coming into the future now, we expect to have some more guys filling our roster who's been in our academy and that, and just want to keep growing and getting bigger and better, and just keep taking steps to make that happen.
So there's Joe Carnahan, the head coach of the Saskatoon Berries. Obviously a ton of knowledge and baseball experience there, but I also had the opportunity to speak to quite a few players, and I kept it very Canadian themed and very Saskatchewan themed, Jackson, because baseball is really growing in that province.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, that's the thing. And I think to get a chance to speak to these guys and hear from them, because the thing is, too, like playing in college and playing in this league, like we want to, get a chance to explore kind of who these guys are, right? And it's a chance for them to also explain a little bit about their story, too, Matt. You did such a great job asking them. School's wrapping up, and it's getting warm out as summer is in full swing. That gives kids out there a chance to work on their swing, among other skills, at the Baseball Zone's summer camps and summer baseball clinics. With indoor and outdoor camps, it's a great place for any young baseball player to improve their skills, make new friends, and have lots of fun. TBZ is also offering FlexPack summer baseball clinics this summer. Design your schedule and choose from any of the dates listed on TBZ's monthly calendar. Each session will give you an hour of coaching feedback and purposeful baseball drills to apply to your practice. Guaranteed to get one-on-one time with a coach in each session for personalized feedback. Now, no matter what your schedule is from week to week, you can find a session that fits and will help you make you better with these FlexPack summer clinics. To sign up for the Baseball Zone summer camps and FlexPack summer clinics, head to thebaseballzone.ca. So let's see, we've got Ethan Murdoch, Carter Kopp, Nathan Houston, Cam Marshak, and Corey Waters. So let's hear a little compilation then, Matt. You had a chance to talk to a bunch of them. And let's hear a little bit about, life as a Saskatoon Berry.
I spoke with Andrew Albers at Canadian Future Showcase a few years ago. It seems like baseball in Saskatchewan's really on the rise. You see them at the Canada Cup. They're always competitive. Yeah. How have you seen that develop over the course of your career? Because you grew up here.
Yeah, I'd say we were just talking about it yesterday, me and a few of the guys, not even from Saskatchewan, from other parts of Canada.
Yeah.
We talked about Canada Cup teams the last few years. And when I was in the Canada, like before I was in the Canada Cup age, they were really good. I mean, they had, guys like Hoffman and Sparks and all those guys and Garrett Hawkins, and they were really, really good. Yeah. And then my age, we were competitive, but it was just okay. And the last few years, I mean, I've been following those guys, and I know a lot of the younger guys who just are getting into college now.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about it yesterday. Like when I was in high school, it was like, we see guys like, 84, 85, and be like, wow, these guys are really good.
Yeah.
And now it's like, we got kids who are in grade 10, grade 11 who are, getting up to 90, getting up to,
And you're seeing the academies now
and
everything.
It's just, there's more and more guys going every year, whereas I felt like when it was my age and, younger than me, it was a couple guys every year would sign somewhere. Like, you have one good player on every team in this province, and now it's like, there's a handful of guys from a lot of these teams that are going on to keep playing, and you know, a lot of that's academies and social media helps and stuff too, but it's blown up, and I think you can see it in the Canada Cup competition, because I mean, we're one of the smallest provinces, and every year we're hanging around with them, and we got, I mean, a bunch of guys even on this team that are committed to play Division I or playing Division I just from small towns in Saskatchewan. I mean, that's hard to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So because I feel like you know, Ontario, BC, Quebec, they get a lot of the attention
for sure.
So how important is it to you to represent Saskatchewan?
Yeah, I mean, I take a lot of pride in it, and I think it's something that I'm really enjoying about being back here. It's just being able to come together with these other guys who are doing it, and just, you know, it's easy to root for guys who, you know, have been through the same thing as us, because I know it's like you said, it's harder to get attention out here. And it's just, you know, far away from everything, far away from all the schools. So I take a lot of pride in that, and knowing like that I'm around other kids who, you know, have to go through the same thing. And I think, you know, it's a lot of fun. Hopefully we can, you know, make some noise throughout the league and kind of show it off that, you know, we have guys here that can play.
Coming back home and playing here, like how important is that to you? How exciting is that?
So awesome. We always kind of knew what the WCBL was, but growing up, the Yellow Jackets were already gone. So it's huge to have the team back and to see what we're doing and the stands filling every night. It's pretty cool. Talk
to me a little bit about growing up playing baseball in Saskatchewan. I was talking to some of the other guys. It's obviously taken off in this province over the last couple of decades. It's been really impressive.
We've had some good facilities like the one to our right here to keep us going in the winter and really keep up with, you know, the bigger places that have better weather, and Baseball Sask does a great job, like Greg Braun's coaching and taking us on trips, so it's pretty awesome.
How have you seen it grow just in the time that you've been playing since you were little?
I mean, there's been more, like, social media is huge now, and you get to see kind of what other places are doing, and we could try to replicate that. Go on trips like spring training in Florida every year, and stuff like that, you know, 20 years ago maybe didn't get to happen, and the funding too. So
absolutely. Awesome. Tell me a little bit about your relationship with the Hoffmans, because that's kind of a cool little connection.
Chad, Logan's dad, was my coach. Growing up in midget, or U18. And,
I guess you're not allowed to say midget anymore.
So I'm not related to them. I'm not actually from Munster, but growing up, he was a big, he ran camps and stuff, so it was awesome.
How is it having someone else that's been that successful? Obviously, Logan had a really good professional career. What's it like to have somebody else that close to you and kind of want to follow in their footsteps?
It's really good. He gives us, you know, someone to talk to about what to expect and how to carry yourself in a college environment, and, you know, just watch someone how they do it and replicate that. It really helps kind of make the jump from high school to college.
Absolutely. What's the best part about being a Berry?
Just the support we get from the city of Saskatoon. It's so awesome.
Is it like anything you've ever experienced before?
It's way cooler.
So you get to come home. You're from here, right? You get to come home and play summer ball. What's that like to you? What does that mean to you to be able to play at home?
It's the best. I grew up watching the Yellow Jackets.
Nice.
So,
that's a nice.
Yeah, we used to come with the big grandstand, the old one here. So being here, like, you used to grow up and want to play for them. And then we got a team when I was in university, so that was perfect.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's the best feeling.
What are some of your memories of the Yellow Jackets, if you can remember back that far?
I just remember always chasing foul balls. For the candy, you'd get like candy. So I'd always be hunting for candy bags.
They don't get the players don't get that here, right?
No.
You don't get...
No.
Do you feel a certain level of responsibility to represent Saskatchewan and be kind of a role model for some of these younger players?
I do, especially when we're here and I'm in town. I just want to be like the best role model I can be, and I want people to look up to me in some way if I can.
What's the best part about being at Saskatoon Berries?
The best part is the fans. I think just showing up here and having everyone looking forward to watching us play is the best feeling.
So tell me a little bit about growing up playing baseball in Saskatchewan. What was that like? I talked to Ethan Murdoch. I talked to Carter Kopp. It's really grown in this province over the last few decades. Tell me a little bit about what it's like to represent Saskatchewan.
I think I'd probably have close to the same answer as Murdoch. Honestly, I think both of us came from a small town, right? Melville, it's not known for a big city, about 5,000 people. So I think, you know, growing up there and having a little group of friends and going out to the ball field every day, you know, I learned how to play the game there and learned from my dad growing up, and I think it was a good experience. A lot of friends back home for sure, and being able to represent Saskatchewan and come back and play for a team like Saskatoon, it's an honor, and I'm happy to be here.
Did you play here last year?
I did. Yeah.
You did. So what was it? Take me through that experience of playing here last year, the inaugural season. Great fan support. What was that kind of like?
It was great. I didn't know really what to expect coming into the new league with a new team, and being new to the WCBL with a new team.
Yeah.
And just the fans being out almost every game. It was packed, and
yeah.
They were loud, and it was a ton of fun. It was super exciting.
Are you a dual guy here too?
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what that kind of preparation is like on a daily basis. You see guys like Otani, and it's a big talked about, but to do it at the college level is pretty impressive too. So take me through what your prep for that is like.
I just try to, get my reps in both sides, not focus on one side too much. I try to get, even if I'm throwing or if I'm hitting a certain day, I'll still try to get my work in on the other side of the ball so that I'm not falling behind on one side.
How important is it for you to represent Saskatchewan, whether you're at school or playing somewhere else?
It's big to me, smaller population, and just to be able to go out there and, there's guys at the Division I level, JUCO level, every level of college baseball, there's guys from Saskatchewan, so It's really an honor to be from Saskatchewan.
So some great stuff there, Matt. Fantastic conversations with some players from the Saskatoon Berries. Really appreciate their time. And Matt, sounds like a really great organization to be a part of, to say the least.
These guys are treated well. They share. So it's the same ownership group that owns the Saskatoon Blades and the Saskatoon Rush, the National Cross League team. So very professionally run organization. These guys are taken care of. And that's really something that was a common theme when speaking to them, is how well the organization is run, how well they're taken care of. The fan support is incredible. And they really, I will say, I have some of that merchandise. They really hit it out of the park with that logo.
I saw a story that New Era contacted them last year and said that their hat was selling more than most minor league teams in the States. How about that?
Yeah, so that was actually a conversation I had. Steve Hildebrand, the president of the team, mentioned that, New Era had they couldn't believe how many hats they were selling. And there's a point in the summer that they were running out of merchandise. And all they had was sweaters, hoodies, and it was 25 degrees and sunny, and people didn't care. They were just trying to get their hands on this stuff.
Yeah, that speaks to good marketing, right? And speaks to the power of like a good brand and a good logo and how quickly things took off for them. Because it was fast. It was their inaugural season last year. Things really expanded quickly. So kudos to them. And kudos to you, Matt, for flying out there and, being able to showcase this team for us.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and obviously to be able to showcase all levels of baseball in this country on this podcast, and every province and territory that has players, on the field. That's really what we're here to do, and this was a special one to do that for Saskatchewan. Another great episode here of the Canadian Baseball Network podcast, touching on the province of Saskatchewan and how successful baseball is in that province and how it continues to grow.
Yeah, really, really good stuff here, Matt. Thank you for, traveling out there to do this. I feel like getting a chance to kind of explore baseball across the country is what we're trying to do with this podcast. We want to do more stuff like this. So I'm not saying Matt's going to be, out gallivanting across Canada, but certainly, if there are other teams out there and you'd love to chat about what you're up to, by all means, we'd love to chat with you too. We're exploring Canadian baseball. It's what we're all about here.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. And thank you to the Saskatoon Berries for having me out. And thank you for listening. We have a lot more great content coming throughout the summer and into the fall. So until next time, take care.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to check out Canadian Baseball Network for extensive and comprehensive coverage of the latest in Canadian baseball. And the Baseball Zone, Canada's leading instructional baseball academy and training home to thousands of MLB pro, college, and youth baseball players.